Let me ask you a question. How many times do you have to put out fires in your house with your kids? Today I'm going to give you 4 parenting tips that I use to prevent and stop sibling conflict in my house without me yelling or begging them to get along. Hello parents, I am Marcela Collier. Welcome to High Impact Club. In this channel, we give you parenting tips and advice to help you raise happy, confident children. And if this kind of content is of interest for you, I encourage you to subscribe. Okay, so let's talk about the 4 parenting tips to prevent and stop sibling conflict. And the last 2 are my winners when it comes to stopping sibling conflict even before it starts. Taking breaks. I have twin toddlers and a 15-year-old, and sometimes when my toddlers start fighting, it is a sign, a warning sign for me that lets me know that they're over each other. They are done. So what I do is that I just redirect each one to an activity to do by himself and take a break from his brother, and that has worked for me beautifully. And sometimes they're already upset, they're escalated, it is hard for them to refocus into a different thing. So what I do is just I help them to cool down first, and then I redirect them to this new activity. Keep in mind that sometimes children display behaviors, and in this case sometimes they start fighting not because they are over each other, but because they have a physical need. So when my kids start fighting, sometimes I look at the clock and I ask myself, is it getting close to be a nap time? Is it getting close to be lunchtime? Because sometimes just giving them a snack or putting them down for a nap has been my answer to resolve sibling conflict. Setting clear, specific expectations. I remember when I was a child and my little cousins came over for dinner and they started getting into my nerves, getting in my things, bothering me. And my mom would come in and she would tell me, they're younger, they don't understand. You are the older one. You have to understand. And then she just left it like that. She didn't tell me how to effectively communicate my needs and wants with those younger cousins. And I'm sure what happened to me as a child is still happening a lot in many households. If it's happening to you and in your house, let me know in the comments down below. With my children, I set clear expectations. Even before the fight starts, I set clear expectations in the behavior that is acceptable and not acceptable in my house. I work on developing problem-solving skills in my children. I even do it with the younger ones, with the toddlers. With them, I do a lot of modeling. So if they're starting a fight, I go to them and I start talking if I were them. So I say things like, Santi, no, it is my turn right now. Or Santi, I'm playing with the Legos right now. You can play with the Legos later. And I'm not expecting them to say the word by word what I'm saying, but I know that it's going to help them start developing those social skills, and eventually they will be able to do it. They say things like Santi's or Miguel's, meaning like it's my turn or it's your turn, and it's because I've been modeling this behavior that I want to see later on. And with my older children, when they start a fight, I go there and I just tell them that fighting is not okay. And if they're in the place to process what happened, we talk about what they can do instead, what they should do next time. And if they're not in the place to talk, I work on helping them cooling down. And once they are in ground zero, cool down, I process the incident with them. I talk to them about the appropriate behavior that I expect from them, and what they can do instead of fighting or arguing. It is check and connect, and I've been using this a lot lately, especially with my toddlers. When they see me busy doing something for a while and not checking on them, you know, of course they're always on my side, but I'm saying not actually going and engaging with them, sometimes they start fighting. One time Miguel came to me and then he pulled my skirt and then he said, "Mama," and then he went and he hit his brother, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that happened, but it happened. And then I started thinking, I was like, yeah, that was his way of telling me, "Mom, I need your attention. I need your complete, individualized, undivided attention. I have to cook, I have to make lunch, I have to do laundry, I have to do other things." So what I've been doing is that while I'm doing those things, I make sure that every some minutes I go and I check on them and I see what they're doing and I tell them 1 or 2 words and I go back to whatever I'm doing, and that has prevented a lot of fights between my toddlers. With my 15-year-old, you know, he can be for a long period of time in his bedroom, but I still go and I check on him and I see what he's doing, and that actually has helped him a lot to be in a good mood lately. Question of the day, parents and caregivers. Have you ever tried one of these 4 tips? Let me know in the comments down below if you have tried one of these 4 tips. And if you're new to my channel, I encourage you to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so every time I upload content, you will be able to know the latest tips and tricks and advice to help you raise happy, confident children. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.